Hi, I'd like to share with you about forgiveness. Highly controversial. The Christian religion is all about forgiveness. Forgive them, Father, because they know not what they do. Turn the other cheek. It's filled with stuff like that. It doesn't sit well with me, I'll be honest with you, because that is not how nature exists. Nature has got herbivores and it has carnivores. Carnivores are predators and they have fangs. The herbivores, they're really, really fearful. But if push comes to shove, they will defend themselves. They have horns. They got hoofs. So do not mistake a herbivore for a weakling. Yes, the fear impulse is very strong in them, but they will defend themselves. We, as humans, we are carnivore, and we are, genetically speaking, designed to defend ourselves. And we have intelligence, and so we apply our intelligence as much as we might apply physical prowess. So traditionally, most cultures would teach their children to defend themselves. They would teach them some form of fighting skills. Learning fighting skills does not make you into a brutalized human being per se. It can do. It depends who's teaching you and how they're teaching you. What fighting skills do is they give us the confidence to stand up for ourselves, to defend our boundaries, and so that other people will have respect for us, and vice versa. We will respect other people. Respect is hugely important in human beings, to be able to respect each other. Law and order sounds great in theory, because there are so many people out there who do not have respect for others. The downside of law and order is that they have defanged humanity, because we, instead of defending ourselves, someone else is going to defend us. It all gets a little bit weird and convoluted, but basically it's a means of defanging, so that people haven't got any fangs of their own to stand up for themselves. And part of that, I hate to say this, is religion. It's a put-up job on humanity. Turn the other cheek. Now you might say, well, hold on a minute. You're going to speak about forgiveness and love? Love is much misunderstood. Again, in the Christian religion, love others as you love yourself. That's great. I have no problem with that. Yeah. I love myself a lot. I respect other people. But we do live in a world where there's a lot of ignorance, a lot of people who are not really quite bright. And And there's a lot of psychopathy, narcissistic psychopathy, sociopathy. There are a lot of people who are so damaged in themselves that they have no respect for others, and force is might, or might is force, I don't know, whereby they have no constraints. They're ruthless in their lack of constraints. There are people like that. So how can I be talking about love and forgiveness in view of what I've just shared? All right, if you've got a horse and it goes lame, you spare it from its misery. If there are human beings out there who are truly damaged and who do not accept or see other people as human beings, then clearly they are a threat to the rest of us. If you've got people out there who are killing children, genetically speaking, we're all programmed to protect children. It's inbuilt, not just human beings. Animals have that. We all have this inbuilt, protect the species through the youth. And most of us, we have a soft eye for babies. But there are people in this world who do not. And that doesn't sit well with me. Now, contradiction in terms within me, because I am aware that from the point of view of my soul, life is to a penny. Our life expectancy, 100 years for a human being, 10, 20 years for a cat, animal, dog. Life is cheap. I'm being brutally honest. Life is cheap. There's more where that came from. One apple tree will throw out thousands upon thousands of seeds in the hope of generating one more tree. That pretty much seems to be how nature works, yeah? There's more where that came from. And at one level that is true. There's always more of where that came from. But as a human being, from purely a biological perspective, my life is precious to me. The life of my kindred is precious to me. The life of babies is precious to me. If someone comes and attacks someone that I care about, it is completely normal, biologically speaking, that I will want to defend what is close to me. Most people have been seduced into the belief that we shouldn't. We've been defanged. And that is unfortunate. That doesn't work really well in our society, because there are people out there who have no compunction, and they will go out there and damage others. So from the point of view of soul, we are here to experience. I've said before, we're here to learn how to drive the car, the human body. But the human body has got emotions. It has the whole gamut of emotions, from fear to courage, from fear to anger. We are supposed to be able to experience the whole lot. That means we are supposed to defend ourselves and our families and our progenies, our group, our culture. We are supposed to defend ourselves. We are supposed to be able to bring forth the emotion of courage, the emotion of anger, to defend our space, however far that space is. So there is no conflict from the point of view of spirit, that we have to be able to experience the whole lot. However, when we are weak, when fear overtakes us and stops us from being able to have self-respect, that is not spirit. That is not what we're here for, because that is a person, is a human being who is emotionally suppressed. They have suppressed their anger. They have suppressed their ability to say no. The backstop here, I will not do this. So spirit means to be able to stand up for ourselves, if that is what the situation requires. It shouldn't require it. And in previous generations, Atlantean, before the cataclysm, people did not need to go and defend themselves, but they still did. They still practiced fighting techniques. Because the fighting, like if you look at all animals, they all play fight when they're young. It is a natural instinct, it's a natural part of being and managing the world around us. Being able to have confidence in oneself is hugely important. Not only just for self-worth, because if there is a conflict out there, you're less likely to be embroiled in a conflict if you have the confidence to detach yourself, because you know you can get a good account of yourself, but you don't do it just through brawns. You only do it because your life is in peril, because your life is at stake, because someone's pushed you too far and you know that you have to stand your ground. But otherwise you would walk away. It doesn't make you weak to walk away. As long as you walk away, because you walk away from strength, because you know that that is the reasonable thing to do. Okay. So from the point of view of spirit, we're not supposed to be a doormat for other people. That's not why we're here. We're here to experience life, and that means having access to all of our emotions. It means having access to all of our minds so that we can reason and we can make proper judgments and actions. Right. So I've laid the groundwork there. So let's get back to forgiveness, love and forgiveness. Love, real love, not what people call love. People call love and they're totally confused as to the meaning. Okay, love is not infatuation. Love is not neediness. Love is being able to put ourselves in someone else's shoes and look at the world from their perspective. That's it, in a nutshell. No more and no less. It means that we are flexible in our hearts to move to the world, to come back to ourselves, move out there, come back. So, a prelude to loving others is loving ourselves. It is impossible to truly love another human being if there is no love for ourselves. If we are full of self-criticism, then we're going to be full of criticism towards other people. Where's the love? There's no love there. If we're full of darkness, then we see the world full of darkness. Inside, outside, as above, so below, externally, internally, right? So everything's from within us. So if I am able to look at myself kindly, with comprehension, with tenderness, with empathy, then I am capable of doing that with other people. If I'm not capable of doing that with myself, because my head is full of criticisms, I'm not able to do that with other people. So we want to be loved, we want to love, but we first of all need to learn to love ourselves. And to learn to love ourselves, we need to learn forgiveness. To be able to forgive other people, we have to learn how to forgive ourselves first. And that means we have to work towards clearing the suppressed emotions in our psyche. The suppressed emotions in our psyche, because of the brain, of our minds and the belief systems that we've picked up, what happens is we see ourselves as the bad guy in some way or other. We tell ourselves off, we demean ourselves, and we often blame other people for the fact that we are victims. We see ourselves as victims in the world. When we blame other people, we're a victim. And so we need to learn how to forgive ourselves. And that means we need to address the issue of those whom we blame for our situation. And we cannot forgive another as long as we're full of rage, as long as we're blaming. So we need to learn, first of all, we need to be able to go back in time, see the situation, connect with whomever we're blaming for whatever has gone on in our world. And then we need to release the rage that has built up, which is somatized in our muscles, which is built into our tissues. We need to release that. And invariably, that requires physical activity, because there are muscles in a state of paralysis. And so that means we need to go and punch bag, hit cushions. We just need to express ourselves. We need to, there was something in my youth, there was a book, someone sort of written, The Primal Scream. I used to go on playground, play the fairs, where they've got these sort of cars that sort of go up and down. Whee! And I used to love that, because I would go to the top, I would go into the car, then we'd be at the top. And when he went out, I would just scream, because that's an acceptable place to scream, right? because, everybody's afraid you're going down. And I'd be, really releasing out of my guts. Then I learned to do it tobogganing when it snowed, going down the hill. Oh, amazing. Shouting my head off. We need to learn to release the screams within us, because we've suppressed a lot of screams in our lifetime. So we get to the point when we have released the physical tensions of the blame, we've acknowledged the blame, then we have to forgive this other person, this parent, this friend, this sibling, whatever. We need to forgive them, but we can't forgive them because we are harboring the resentment, the anger, the grief, whatever it is. We've got a beef with them. We can't forgive them. And yet that's the only way forward. But there is a way forward, like I said. First of all, we have to really get it out of our system. And then we have to see them as damaged human beings. Because we have all been damaged in this lifetime, all of us. There are no exceptions. As we're growing up, we've all been damaged in some way or other. And previous generations were damaged even more than ours. And we need to understand that these people, if their parents, the chances are they actually do love us. They just did not know how to express their love. And so we need to be able to see that. We need to be able to connect with the fact that these people cared for us, loved us. Or if it's a misunderstanding, we need to be able to see that there is a misunderstanding. And sometimes their behavior has been completely unacceptable. I cannot forgive that person because their behavior was totally unacceptable. Yeah, and you mustn't. Only a stupid fool ignores the damage that may be created by someone else who is in themselves damaged, who may then do damage to other people. So forgiveness is not condoning. We do not condone other people's bad behavior. Don't be a fool. Why would you want to do that? We need to learn from our experiences. If someone is so damaged that we need to keep miles away from them, then you need to remember that. So it is important that we do not condone other people's bad behavior. We do not accept it. We do not condone it. And yet we still have to forgive them because there's no way forward otherwise. So when people behave badly, it's not their spirit. Everybody's got a soul inside them. Everybody's got a spirit. It is not the spirit that's the problem. The spirit, the soul within them, that fragment of soul, is fighting to learn how to drive that particular car. And it hasn't made any headway. It's really stuck in a very low level. And so it behaves very erratically. So we cannot forgive such behavior. When I say we cannot forgive, we cannot condone it. But it's the ego that's behaving like that, not the spirit, not the soul fragment behind that human being. So the way forward is, as we focus on them, we see that they are damaged, and we do not condone that. But we also see that there's this immature soul behind that human being that is doing his best to manage. It's just crashing everywhere. It's trying to sort of control the car, but it shouldn't be on the highway. It's a wreck. It's wrecking everything, right? It's boom, boom, boom. So that is what we forgive. We forgive the spirit in them because they're doing their best. And, you know, it depends on the situation and the person, what's going on. There are many ways we can focus, but essentially we do not condone behavior, but we forgive the spirit with them. And if it's a misunderstanding, and we can see it's a misunderstanding, then it's easy to forgive. But if it's something more serious, we can still forgive the spirit within them, but we do not condone their behavior. We do not condone those who kill children and women. We do not condone such behavior. It's unacceptable. And frankly, if it was an animal, we would kill it. If a dog damages a sheep, we kill the dog. We say that's not behavior that we accept in our society, because, you know, the farmer has got rights to have a sheep, etc. So this dog's gone wild, it's lost the plot, it's doing the killing, and so we kill the dog. Sounds really ruthless, right? But how else are we to deal with psychopaths within our society? Yeah, I forgive them. I can see they're immature. I can see that they're very low-level souls. I can see all of that. And I understand them. I can put myself in their shoes, in the way they've been brought up, everything behind it. I understand where they come from. But can we really have people like that in our society? Clearly not. Whilst I didn't mean to go that far, nevertheless, it is a truth that we need to protect ourselves, we need to defend ourselves. But if you fill yourself with the anger and the rage of your enemies, then we become no better than them. But you know, when we kill that dog which has killed the sheep, we don't kill the dog with anger or rage or hate. We do it because that's what's good for the community. So there you go. Forgiveness is really important, because we need to keep our hearts open. Regardless of the atrocities that others may commit, we still need to keep our hearts open. That does not mean that we have to condone their behavior, whether it is to do present time or whether it's to do from our childhood. Self-worth is really, really important. Know thyself, right? Anyway, this has gone a bit too long. You know, am I too controversial? Leave me comments. Tell me what you think. Give your opinion. Do you find what I say interesting? Please give a like. It helps me to reach more people. All the best for now. Bye-bye.